Hi, this is Michael Mallory back with the press hacking lessons here on ITTMA. And lesson 5 today is talking about getting on your local news outlets, whether that's television, radio, or newspaper. Might even include local magazines. Uh, Local is the easiest news to get, and local is always looking for interesting stories about anything happening in the local area. So email your press release to them first, and then, if you get some traction locally, you can try to move the story up to your regional or national or international, whatever type of story it might be. Local television, newspapers, and radio all print their news on their websites, Facebook pages, and Twitter. And quite frankly, they might take your story and only use it for the web or social media and not even use it on their printed editions or on their TV broadcasts. That's even better for you if they only use it on their social media, because that's where you want it. That's where it would get picked up by national outlets. You have to find the right person for the job. If you're going to the business editor of the newspaper and you have a story that is a human interest story or a political story, they're not going to print it. Now, normally, if you're going to a television station, you just look for the assignment editor or call for the assignment editor. In fact, if you are calling a newspaper, or excuse me, a television studio, pick up the phone and call them. You can do it with your local anything, quite frankly. That's probably the best way. Email's the second best way. And then find the right person. If it's a hard-hitting intrigue story, then the investigative reporter is probably going to be who you're looking for. Chances are you can just go on their website and see who it is that covers the type of story you are looking for. This is a WFLA. I'm assuming that's in Florida. I just found this one online. But go in, see who it is, and then there's a pretty good chance that they'll have a way for you to contact them directly through the website. If not, find their phone number. That should be pretty easy. Give them a call. Don't forget to put a radius around your town. I would go out at least 100 miles. That's a little less than 200 kilometers for those of you on the metric system. 100 miles, 200 kilometers away from where you are. Depending on the story, you might go more than that. If you are in a major metropolitan area, you will definitely want to go further than that because they're going to cover much bigger news stories as a matter of course. And you're going to want to try to get into the smaller news organizations simply because. Don't be shy about contacting them. They love talking to the so-called man on the street or woman on the street, the average person or the average business owner, because it does make a much more compelling story than talking to the CEO of some major multinational conglomerate. And pretty much you just, put in what you're looking for. This one says Atlanta, Georgia news, and it pulls up all of the news outlets in that area. If I were up here, I would put in Richmond, Virginia news or Washington, D.C. news, and I would get the news outlets I want. Yeah, I would definitely go for Washington, D.C. if I was looking to go national story. But if I wanted to start small, I would start here or maybe even in the surrounding counties with smaller news outlets than even in my town. If you have a decent story, a solid story, somebody's going to want to print it because they're always looking for stories, like we talked about in earlier lessons. Once you have at least one, but 2 or 3 local stories, then now maybe you can push those up to larger blogs like Gawker, Huffington Post. You might even get on Forbes or, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post. Depends on where you are. Obviously, I'm in the United States, so I'm talking about United States sources. But whatever country you're in, there's going to be higher up sources more than likely. If you're in a smaller country with only a couple of news sources, then you have to try to get in those international news sources, or you have to try to get into niche publications where it focuses on your industry. I'm going to do a whole lesson on that outside of the publicity hacking or press hacking lessons, basically how to get into niche publications. But And then we'll talk about how to contact them later on. That's the lesson. It was a short one this time. Come back for lessons 6 and 7, and check out lessons 1 through 4 if you haven't been there already. How to easily and quickly get some press. I'm Michael Mallory.